Go ahead. Are we recording?
We are live and memorizing.
All right. I'd like to call to order the January 9th, 2024 Columbia Borough Council meeting. Could I have a roll call, please?
Certainly you can, if I can find my paper.
All right.
Council President Zink.
Here.
Councilperson Kaufman.
Here.
Councilperson Stahl.
Here.
Councilperson Fisher.
Here.
Councilperson Price.
Here.
Councilperson Murphy.
Here.
Councilperson Burghardt.
Here.
Mayor Look.
Here.
All right. Would anybody like to offer an invocation? All right. If you'd like, please rise for a moment of silence. And Councilperson Stahl, please do the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yeah, there's like no one here tonight.
We have a full tape?
I know, right? Announcement of executive sessions, there were none. Are there any additions, deletions, or reorganization of the agenda needed? I'm not aware of any. Could I have a motion to approve the agenda as published?
Second.
I have a motion by Councilperson Murphy, second by Councilperson Price, to approve the agenda as published. All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? All right. Citizen comment, non-agenda items only. There are no citizens in attendance. So that is no. Minutes for approval. Could I have a motion to approve the Borough Council meeting minutes for December 28th, 2023?
So moved. Second.
I have a motion by Councilperson Price, second by Councilperson Fisher, to approve the Borough Council meeting minutes for December 28th, 2023. All in favor?
Before you vote, there was one correction in the minutes on the 28th. On the vote for the ordinance for the off-premise signs, the vote was recorded as 6 in favor, 1 against, and Peter, you weren't here, so it should have been 5 in favor, 1 against. So we've made that correction in the minutes. So if you get approval with that as a royal change, we'll get those signed up.
All right. All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Next, could I have a motion to approve the Borough Council reorganization meeting minutes for January 2nd, 2024?
Second.
I have a motion by Councilperson Stahl, second by Councilperson Murphy, to approve the Borough Council reorganization meeting minutes for January 2nd, 2024. All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Presentation and acceptance of reports, community development.
I'd like to acknowledge the receipt of the Columbia Borough Market House report for December 2023.
Public Works and Property.
I'd like to acknowledge the Public Works and receipt of the Public Works and Property report for December 2023. Just like to note on that, the Christmas tree drop off for this coming Saturday, either up at the recycling center at the Borough Farm or at the Columbia Borough Fire Department from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Will that be put on the website? Yeah.
Question. If I saw the news correctly, they're calling for some bad weather again Saturday, I think, Friday or this Saturday. But if it's real bad weather, would we consider doing it the next Saturday too?
We could.
We're good, yeah?
I think we'll be fine.
You think we'll be fine? I think the number has been going down, hasn't it? People are buying fig trees, like me.
There's already a lot of
Oh, okay.
Yeah. People don't like to wait till.
I didn't want to see them on the curb.
Yeah.
Yeah. along with Public Works and Property, I just want to say thank you to Jake and his crew for the first snowfall in almost 2 years. Got the brine out and kept everything real clear. There was no ice patches, none of that stuff, so thank you. Safety and marketing.
Nothing for marketing, but I would like to acknowledge public safety reports for December 2023, including the Columbia Borough Police Department, Columbia Borough Fire Department, the MOC report, and the Codes Compliance report and Condemnation report. I also want to thank Police Chief and staff for keeping the public and council informed during the incident that happened last week. Was it Friday? You guys thought by so quickly. I was on TextMyGov, which proves again that was a great decision that council approved TextMyGov. I had lots of people asking me, what's going on? And I said, TextMyGov. And gave me a chance to spread the word some more. But it was good to get that notification. And thank you for the email as well, keeping everybody on council in the know, Jack. Thank you. Way to communicate. That's marketing.
Mm-hmm. There we go. Presentations, we don't have any of those. Mayor Lutz, Chief Bronner. Mayor Lutz, you have a proclamation for us.
Yes, first I'll read the proclamation and then we'll go on. A proclamation celebrating the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. holiday in the Borough of Columbia. And it reads, whereas the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. holiday celebrates the life and legacy of a man who brought hope and healing to America. We commemorate as well the timeless values he taught us through his example, the values of courage, truth, justice, compassion, dignity, humility, and service that so radiantly defined Dr. King's character and empowered his leadership. And whereas the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. holiday was signed into law by President Ronald Reagan in 1983 and first observed in 1986. And whereas we commemorate Dr. King's inspiring words because his voice and his vision filled a great void in our nation and answered our collective longing to become a country that truly lived by its noble principles. And whereas Dr. King knew that it wasn't enough just to talk the talk, that he had to walk the walk for his words to be credible. And so we commemorate on this holiday the man of action who put his life on the line for freedom and justice every day. And whereas on this day we honor the life and contributions of America's greatest champion of racial justice and equality. And whereas we commemorate on this holiday the ecumenical leader and visionary who embraced the unity of all faiths in love and truth. And whereas we take patriotic pride that Dr. King was an American, on this holiday we must also commemorate the global leader who inspired nonviolent liberation movements around the world. So now therefore I, Leo Lutz, Mayor of the Borough of Columbia, Pennsylvania, do hereby proclaim Monday, January 15th, 2024 as Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And I ask all citizens of the borough to take time to remember Dr. King on this day and to fashion our lives according to those beliefs held so dear by Dr. King. So that holiday will be on Monday. The other thing, picking up a little bit on what Todd said, as you all know by now, Friday we had an incident here in town that started out with the sheriffs serving warrant and escalated into probably 50 uniformed police officers covering the 300 to 400 block of Cherry and Locust Street. I must say, from what I saw, this operation with all those officers and equipment went off like clockwork. It was like they rehearsed it every day. I was truly amazed at how everything went and how calm and just so orderly, even as far as making plans if it continued on in time, what to do with Our Lady of the Angels School, Park School, and the other schools. and how we would dismiss all those children down through town. So thank God we didn't have to do that, but the plans were being laid. It was truly something to behold, and I am so proud of our officers who were there on the scene, and I want to thank all the departments that were involved in that incident. It was amazing. Thank God no one got hurt. The person was in custody. He was unhurt. The K-9 was unhurt, contrary to some rumors that were out there. It was done very well. This year, as council begins its 2024 session, it marks my 23rd year working here in the borough as mayor. And over those 22 years, there's some things I see that need to be discussed. And one of them is the rentals in this community. Right now, we're running, I'll say, close to 50-50 rental units in this community. And as you know, or if you don't know, you will now, I get a copy of every disruptive conduct that's written, whether it's written by codes or the police department. And I keep track of them. And I think codes and the police department do a wonderful job on those disruptive conducts. But what is so ironic is I remember back in the beginning, our officers and even our code enforcement officers had to look up to see if when there was a complaint, to see if it was a rental unit or not. They've done so much on these rental units, they don't even have to go look it up anymore. They got them memorized. That's crazy in my estimation. The other thing that we noticed, and I was talking to the chief a little bit about this morning, I watched that, like I say, I watch and I monitor that. I don't see a lot of repeats. People, we have a couple every year, am I right, Paul? A couple every year where we reach 3 and they have to be evicted. But for the most part, 1 or 2, and then they disappear. So that tells me that they're here today, gone tomorrow. That don't make a community. And with those things facing us, we worked hard. Everybody working in this borough worked hard for the past 22 years to turn this community around. But we're never going to reach that point where we all want to be if we don't look at that issue. My thoughts are we need to get somewhere around 35, 65. We need to get that rental down. What's happening here, and I'm not picking on rental people who live in rental units. What I'm looking at is, and I'll be specific, it's the single family rentals that are holding us back. We're losing our young people. They're moving out of Columbia because those starter homes that young families used to buy in town until they got on their feet and then moved into other homes, those starter homes aren't here. So they're leaving Columbia to buy that starter home, or they're getting caught in that rental Ferris wheel. Because once you start putting most of your money into rental, you're not putting money into buying bricks. And that's bad. So we have a problem there. We need to take a hard look at this. I don't know the answer. Okay? I don't know the answer. But we need to take a look collectively as a borough council, mayor, administration. We need to take a look at what we need to do and try to work towards this. And this has an overlapping issue. As we can solve some of these problems, we're not going to have that many police problems, because I just talked to you about the 3-strike rule and what we get done there. It's going to help our schools. I know it's going to help our schools. We're going to see some things change there. because constantly I hear about the transient population, the turnover. And you all know that when someone is here today, gone tomorrow, they aren't buying into your community. They're not picking up trash, taking care of their yards, and cleaning the streets, joining into the organizations or whatever have you in this community. They're not a part of the community. We need to take a look at this and try to solve this problem. The other part of that is, this incident on Friday. Evan, you may have to, I may have to give you a call, or you may want to take a look at it. I remember back when we had some nuisance bars in town, and we talked to the district attorney, and we come up with a plan, and we did a lot of record keeping, a lot of paperwork, and we were successful in pulling some of them out of our community. There has to be a way to address chronic properties, not businesses, but chronic properties where we are constantly there. The day of that incident, Codes was there again. You know, I even walked up the street already with Paula and said, check this out. We're already on it, Leo. And I knew she was, but you know, I had to satisfy myself. But that particular property, we have been there so many times with police officers and code enforcement officers. There has to be a way to stop that from happening in the community. We go back to the same places time and time again. And I can name a couple more, but I don't want to bring that up so much in public. But that is high in the news, so I feel safe in talking about that. But there has to be a way that we can address that chronic problem property, that we can do something about it. I see you're itching to talk there.
It's
Go
the
ahead.
nuisance ordinance that we've been talking about for a year and a half.
That is,
We need the nuisance ordinance.
yeah, that's a big one.
Kelly,
But
we
even
need the
there,
nuisance ordinance.
yeah, even then, it's hard to get the people out of those properties, is what I'll tell you. Unless you're willing to go and, you know, go to the DJ, get fines, and then execute eventually. It is difficult to kind of force that change. You know, you're hoping to get compliance, right? That is the main
Yes.
thing. Addressing blight is probably the most difficult thing that a local municipality in Pennsylvania has to do. There's just not a lot of great options. When I was at the PSAB conference in August, their legal update, I attended a session on blight, and I'll go back and look at those materials and see if there's, you know, some more stuff we can do. But I think that nuisance ordinance is probably top of the list at this point to get you guys. It's just very difficult because your code of ordinances right now, nuisances are spread all through. It is one of the, and so trying to find all of those is really the holdup. I could give you a nuisance ordinance tomorrow. I mean, very easily. We have them in almost every municipality. We just need to get a handle on what is in your code right now to try to, because you've got noise one place and grass and weeds another, and you know, some other things somewhere else, rubbish and things like that. So it's difficult, but I think we can really, you know, we can really start to try to tackle some of that kind of stuff.
Well, you know, and Eric, or Evan, I tell our officers this from time to time. I don't have a problem with citing people under the nuisance ordinance, having a pretty good idea that it's probably going to be dropped, okay? But still, they know we're on them, and if it's a rental property, after a while, they're going to get tired of it.
Yep.
They're going to get tired of getting an attorney. They're going to get tired of taking off and coming into a hearing. They're going to get tired of it, and they're going to dump it, and then it's going to be a piece of property that possibly a single-family dwelling again that a homeowner can buy by putting that pressure on.
Yep.
You know, I tell our officers, I get upset, but I don't get so upset if the judge throws something out, because chances are that person took off work, possibly hired an attorney, whatever. So the outcome is we got their attention. And if we get their attention that it's straightened up, that's fine. But if we get their attention that they decide to get out of business, that's also fine, you know? And the last point, Eric, I know you brought this up time and time again. I have a hard time understanding that rental properties, a lot of them are owned by LLCs. Why are they not considered a business?
I mean,
They would be
in the state of
assessed,
Pennsylvania, they certainly are.
but I don't think they're assessed here as a business. The single-family rentals, I don't think are assessed as a business.
No, they're not, because it's assessed on usage and not,
Yeah,
you're
correct.
assessed on usage, not by who owns them.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and maybe I need,
They're not a
commercial.
commercial property.
but truthfully, they're making money off of it.
Right.
They're an LLC, they're filing income taxes on the money they make. Everything that's done by that owner is according to a business, but yet it's not a business in our eyes. Something's wrong there. It don't stack up right.
It's not a business in the state's eyes.
Yeah.
That's right. I think
And maybe that's something we need to go to the state and say, hey, here's a problem here.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
and truthfully, I know from my family being in business, that has to do with the electricity, sewer, water, and every other rate. You pay a different rate as a business than you do as a property, a homeowner. So everybody's losing, but they're making money.
And there are other states have it so that you have to register a business. And there is a fee that you pay to the local municipality. Now, cities can do it, but boroughs and second-class townships cannot here in Pennsylvania.
That's,
If we could register the businesses, then we'd have a way of tracking who has it, who doesn't. And if you're an illegal rental, you not only get the fine for an illegal rental, you also get the fine for misusing and not registering as a business.
but so not to take up all your time here tonight, I wanted to address that. I ask you, and maybe I have to put together a task force and get some people to talk or whatever, so that we can do this off to the side, but keep that in your mind. That's a problem as I view it. It's a big problem in this community. We're not getting over the hump unless we solve it. Thank you.
And at one point, I can tell you that, one of the main purposes of a nuisance ordinance is that if you declare something a nuisance, the law allows you to go to the property and take care of the nuisance, right? And then charge that owner for your, whatever you've done, removing trash,
done that?
mowing, yeah. So the problem with just going to the district justice is that they have no power, no injunctive power. They can't make someone do something. They can fine them, but they can't say, you've got to mow your grass.
Money talks.
Yeah, and I can tell you that as soon as you go onto one person's property and you cut the grass or you clean up the garbage, or, I had one municipality, somebody had a porch and a second floor balcony that was falling off the front of the building next to a bus stop. They went in and they took that off. And let me tell you, the next time we sent a couple of nuisance letters out, things got done, because people don't like it when you start coming onto their property and doing something, and word spreads very, very quickly. And that's what we want, right? Compliance is what we want. So that's a major, major tool in the toolbox, and one I think you could really utilize here if we can get it taken care of, so.
Thank you. We'll be talking.
Well, I believe it's not just necessarily about the blight, it's about the landlords that allow undesirable
Yes.
tenants. And so we have to find a way to incorporate that, if your property is a nuisance because, of a string of bad tenants, your rental licenses are
Drug arrests, things like that.
we can yank their rental license and they can't operate. Period, the end. I mean, we need to do something like that.
I'm looking into that in another municipality, and I can't say that they wanted me to bring it to them at their December meeting, and I just didn't feel comfortable with what I had at that point, but I am absolutely working on that, because they have a landlord that he's had tenants at one of his properties in the municipality, and they got 3 disruptive conducts, just like you do, and so they had to move out of that property. They couldn't move back in for, I think, a period of a year in their ordinance, and so we moved them to another property, and within a month, they had 2 more disruptive conducts.
And there.
And at some point, you just have to say, they're asking me, can we kind of say, once this happens twice, you lose your rental license in the borough for a certain amount of time, and so that's what we're kind of trying to look at, and I think that's probably what you're getting
Yeah,
at
I'm
there.
thinking of a landlord that has 86 properties, and, if you say, your property, we're having an issue with your properties, and we're gonna yank your license from all 86,
Yeah.
that's a huge motivation there.
Yep. So we're on the same page, thank you, Evan.
Yeah, we'll work on that for sure.
Chief, you have anything?
Just to continue with the remarks on Friday's critical incident, I did want to first thank the residents of the community who were very supportive and cooperative. Not all were, but most were. So thank you to all of them. Of course, we would not have had a successful conclusion without all of the police agencies helping us, the county CERT team, county resources, county 911. And lastly, I had a debrief with our squad who was actually working on Friday, and I told them that it took great courage when you're under fire to maintain your position, do your job, stick to it, and they certainly did the best they could and did all they could to protect this community. So I just wanted to emphasize that to all of you. You should be very proud of the police officers that you have working for you. Thank you.
Isn't there anything else you would like to share with council? Maybe, has to do with what's sitting beside you?
Oh, the new radios came in yesterday. Thank you for the reminder.
I
Yes.
was trying to
Yes, thank you.
Bring
So,
it on.
yes, finally, it only took 6 months, 7 months. We did receive a delivery yesterday, so we're working on getting the new portable radios programmed and in the officers' hands. So that should happen within the next week. Yes, thank you.
Heard that today at civil service, so I think we'll say that tonight.
Yes,
And ours, the borough side have been ordered, so they should be in
soon.
soon.
Hopefully.
Okay.
All right, good information, thank you. Next, can I have a motion to adopt resolution 2024-05 regarding protocols and rules of decorum for public meetings? And a second. A motion by Councilperson Stahl, second by Councilperson Price to adopt resolution 2024-05. I wanted to make note that I did make one change to wording. Under definitions, 1B, I changed it from work session to workshop to make it consistent with the requirements in the Sunshine Act, because the Sunshine Act does not allow for work sessions for any public meetings. So we had to change the term to workshop so that we're not in conflict with the Sunshine Act. But that was the only change that was made.
Well, the other changes were based on the discussion.
Based on the discussion.
All those are in there.
Yeah. Are there any questions, comments, or concerns on this? No? All right. Then I have a motion by Councilperson Stahl, second by Councilperson Price, to adopt resolution 2024-05 regarding protocols and rules of decorum for public meetings. All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Next, could I have a motion to adopt resolution 2024-06 regarding protocols for elected officials conducting borough business?
Second.
I have a motion by Councilperson Price, second by Councilperson Stahl to adopt resolution 2024-06. Are there any questions, comments, or concerns on this one? No? Seeing none, I have a motion by Councilperson Price, second by Councilperson Stahl to adopt Resolution 2024-06 regarding protocols for elected officials conducting borough business. All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Next, I have a motion to adopt Resolution 2024-07 authorizing the destruction of borough records. A motion by Councilperson Stahl, second by Councilperson Murphy to adopt Resolution 2024-07 authorizing the destruction of borough records. This comes up every year. These are the things that by law we can dispose of for this year. So we're disposing of 2016. Any questions, comments, or concerns? I have a motion by Councilperson Stahl, second by Councilperson Murphy to authorize or to adopt Resolution 2024-07 authorizing the destruction of the borough records. All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Next, I have a motion to authorize the bill payments.
So moved.
I have a motion by Councilperson Price, second by Councilperson Stahl to authorize the bill payments. Are there any questions on these? I went through and I didn't see anything that stuck out to me.
I have a question on page 5 for the wastewater treatment plant. It was with Friday Mechanical.
Pretty, yeah.
Was that, I mean, what was that on?
There was, before we sold the, before we were preparing to sell the plant, as we were preparing to sell the plant, there was a leak in the boiler room that was still under our responsibilities to maintain it. So he came in. That was.
It took them 6 months to.
Yeah, I mean,
it was done in July.
I would say it's done in the summer.
Gotcha. Oh, was that the roof repair, or this says bearing assembly?
Yeah.
There was a valve.
No, there was a valve
Gotcha.
that went bad. He's the plumber. He also did the work over the market house. Same guy.
That makes sense. Yep, thanks.
Yeah, I remember that name.
Yep.
Great. Any other questions? I have a motion by Councilperson Price, second by Councilperson Stahl to authorize the bill payments. All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Next, new business. We have a contract change order number 2 to balance and close out the 2nd Street Phase 2 CDBG improvements project. I will never be good at saying that, ever.
No one can say it like Derek.
I know.
I say it a lot.
It just rolls off his tongue. I have to be very deliberate.
Quickly on this one, I did announce a couple of months ago that the project was closed and under budget, which is the case. The county writes the checks directly to the contractor for CDBG. So the county is requesting that we do, this is a balancing change order to show what we were high on, what we were low on. When you add it all up, it's negative $440.90 from the original bid price. So I just need a motion to pass, or to accept this change order. We'll send it to the county, and then that pays out our contractor.
All right. I don't have a problem voting on this thing tonight. Does anyone? I have a motion to approve contract change order number 2 to balance and close out the 2nd Street Phase 2 CDBG improvement project.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Councilperson Stahl, second by Councilperson Murphy to approve contract change order number 2 to balance and close out the 2nd Street Phase 2 CDBG improvement project. Try to do that one more. All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Staff comments and announcements. Solicitor Gable.
Not too much to report tonight. Talking with Mark this afternoon, I think we're going to bring you guys, ask for authorization to advertise the sale of the Blue Lane property. Everything has been subdivided and taken care of there, so we're ready to kind of jettison that piece of ground and use it to, pay for some of the other things you have going on here. So look for that. We'll also have your fourth quarter lien report as well. With the slowdown in the housing market, I can't say it's been quite as busy as it was when we first got it, but we're still working through things. So looking for those two things, and we'll certainly get with the mayor and whoever else and get working on this nuisance ordinance for sure.
Have we heard anything from Lancaster Avenue Properties?
Nope. I haven't gotten word back that the sheriffs have served the writ of, that combines the two, that combines them into 2 lanes, the 6 lanes into 2. So I'll check on that and see where we are, but if not, that should happen relatively soon, so, but I have not heard anything else from them.
Engineer Ronaldo.
Okay, after over a year, we got great news in December that we were awarded a $233,727 grant from the CFA Small Water Sewer. That is for the replacement of the storm sewer pipe down there at Riverfront that runs from the railroad to the river. You guys all remember that project from like 2 years ago? It's pretty much paid for now. So that was, again, it was well, yeah, we were originally going to pay for this with the ARPA funds, and this grant came up, so we gave it a shot, and we got it. So that's great news. So in talking with Mark and Pete and Jake, we're going to kick this thing into high gear and try to get this out on the street and build this year.
Good.
Okay?
That's going to go by the Wiseman property.
Yes, yeah.
I thought that's what it was.
Through it.
Through it, yeah.
So, yeah, it's going to be, it actually, the pipe goes underneath a couple of improvements there. It doesn't follow the road, so it's going to be a challenge to get this.
Congratulations on getting that, because going under the railroad, through those properties,
Yeah, we're
quite a
hopeful.
task.
We're hopeful to begin the project at Heritage Drive. The section that goes under the railroad is actually like a concrete stone stack. That's actually in pretty good shape. It's where it transitions from that culvert to a metal pipe that it's in really rough shape. So we're gonna dig up. If you're driving down Heritage Drive, you'll notice there's a little square patch on the edge. That's the connection point that we've previously excavated and cameraed. And Jake, you crawled through the whole thing, right? Just kidding. So yeah, we've been at this one a little while, but you'll see some movement on this one now.
Are you going to dig it up, Eric? Or are you going to sleeve it?
We are going to investigate sleeving it, but we're likely going to dig it up and relocate it. It's a 36-inch pipe, and the issue is with trying to slip line it, you need access points. You can only, so the pipe itself is in pretty poor condition, so you need some structural integrity left to the pipe, and you also need access points every so many 100 feet to be able to run that slip line. I think the run is too long to run it, even if we excavate it at Heritage. I think it's too long of a run from Heritage to the creek, and I'm concerned there isn't enough structural integrity left in the pipe to do that. But we're gonna look at everything.
It'll be fun.
Oh yeah, always. And the other announcement I have, we are nearing the time to submit the subdivision plan for the McGinnis Airport property. We've completed the boundary survey, done a lot of back and forth with some property owners in the area and in dealing with ELA on the space they need to accomplish the design for the property. So just a heads up that some residents that are bordering McGinnis will start to receive some letters here in the next week or so to show them what's going on. You know, specifically if your property is being affected by the McGinnis survey, we'll be sending you a letter with an exhibit to show that, and then we're planning to meet with them.
Good, are we going to be able to move dirt this year?
The NPDES permit is due to be submitted this month, and we received word that Rue Environmental has wrapped up their study and submitted their clearance document. That was kind of the last piece we needed for the NPDES submittal. So that'll go in. It all depends on how quickly the Conservation District can review and approve it, and then can get out to bid. But we really want to. Mark will be down there with a shovel. I think Mark's moving dirt this year.
There's gonna be lots of dirt being moved this year between there and,
Yep.
and, what do you call it?
Ridge
Ridge
Avenue.
Avenue?
Yep.
Jake, your guys are gonna be busy. I might need some of them Singapore. So, all right, well, that's good. Well, good news. Manager Stiers.
Well, on that happy note, I have some not so great news. The Transportation Technical Advisory Committee had a special meeting in December to talk about some funding changes and projects. They announced that the PA 462 bridge project, the initial cost estimates for construction have about doubled the project cost. So they are pushing the let date out to the fourth quarter of 2026 to begin that project. They're estimating a 4 to 5 year project, and unlike previously that we've talked about voluminous times, where the bridge is going to remain open as long as possible, this project now is actually removing the deck in its entirety and replacing it. So as soon as they begin construction, the bridge will be closed. So we have to prepare for the fact that this bridge will be closed for, I would say prepare for 5 years. If they can get it done faster, that'd be great. And there's also going to be significant impact to River Park because they're going to be using probably what we call phase 3, everything north of the PA 462 bridge is going to be used for staging and river access so they can get in there and do the work on this. So it's I know it's not the news we were hoping. I mean, Mayor, we've been working on this, and you long before I got here. We had hoped that things would have been already well underway by now, but it looks like the delay is serious. PennDOT has to, because of this change in the cost, is going to have to reevaluate where all the money's coming from and how they're going to fund it. That is still being worked on. But again, it's going out to bid in the end of 26, which means construction will start in 27.
You know, the real shame of it is, when it was first brought up, it was $30 million. And because they kept,
And it went to 85 million.
yeah, they kept taking the money and putting it to other projects. And putting it to other projects. It's upsetting to me that they didn't take it serious that we need this bridge repaired. They kind of like threw the bridge aside and was it pressure from one place or other place? I'm not even going to get into that. But it was like they just kept kicking the can down the road till now. It's a multi-million-dollar project, 5-year project rather than 2-year project. And this is going on for 10 years or better. I think 15 was the original date to start this bridge. Mm-hmm. Now we're going out, you know, it's not right. I may have to attend a TTAC meeting.
One thing that I'm very thankful for, though, is that the bridge is on the register, because if it wasn't, that bridge would not be looking.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It would not. It would just be done whatever was cheapest.
The shame of it is, it was on the tip, and bumped and bumped and bumped to the next tip, then to the next tip, and next to the next tip. And you may not understand all this, but working down there 8 years, I'm sorry, I understand it and have a hard time explaining it. But that's the shame of it. I saw the projects that were eating it up, eating up the funding. And truthfully, it was known that there was a bubble of transportation projects sitting in the queue that there wasn't money for. That was known 10 years ago.
Well, now they have also discovered that the Norman Wood Bridge needs
There's no doubt in my mind.
repairs, so they have to repair that one and the 30 bridge to prepare for this one to be down. So that eats into it as well.
If they keep it up, someday we'll have a couple more, what do you call them, statues of liberty out there on big pier.
Well, what's concerning too is, that's what, 3 years now, till they even started, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think everybody that goes down there has noticed, at least I see it the last 2 years, certainly seems like the amount of deterioration that's going in there is really accelerating.
I'm not a scary
That's why they
person.
gotta replace the deck.
I'm not a scary person, but I went over that bridge twice today, and I thought about it.
Mhm.
That should not be.
Well, now they're gonna, and did we see they're gonna pave it this week, or,
Paved the 30 bridge,
Oh, the 30
finish that
bridge,
one
I
up
thought
and
the-
seal that one
No,
off.
30
Yeah.
bridge.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that'll
At
be,
least in what-
So one of the items
January
that
they're gonna pave.
we have talked about, and I brought up at the TTAC meeting, and I know that we have talked about in other places, is when the 462 bridge is closed for construction, it's gonna put a whole lot of pressure on the Columbia exit off of 30.
Absolutely.
So people are gonna jump on at Cool Creek, come down around, or jump on it, right, just get off and come back over on this side to get back off again. And we're already having traffic issues on Linden coming down and at the light. So PennDOT has agreed to at least begin looking at that and the potential impacts of that intersection and how it's gonna impact the borough. It's not gonna be light, it's gonna be a big issue. And again, for that bridge to be closed for 5 years, we have to prepare as soon as possible for the impacts that are gonna happen to us. There is no other shortcut. I mean, and we've talked about this too, just so people, I'll keep saying it. When the bridge is shut down and there is an incident on 30, anywhere between the Wrightsville exit and the Columbia exit, or even Prospect Road exit, the detour is Harrisburg. That's the closest bridge. So, right.
neither one.
And Normanwood, it's going to be, people from Langston and York counties will know how to navigate down there and around there. The detour, the official signed detour, is taking people up to Harrisburg, which is going to be, I don't know, an hour and a half. And then when all the people hit it, the traffic jam is going to be a big delay.
It's gonna cause 283.
Yeah, it's going to have long-lasting impacts on us here, so.
Could be an opportunity for Airbnbs over in Wrightsville.
And here, stay here.
Stay overnight instead of going up to Harrisburg.
People are gonna start opening ferry business across the river. You can ferry your bike across and reopen Wright's Ferry, and we're good to go.
Who's got a barge?
River taxis.
Yeah, there you go. So, like I said, as we get more updates and we communicate with PennDOT, we'll keep things going. This will be on, I think, the MPO agenda. Heather, is coming up for you guys at your next meeting
Yes.
to discuss the funding shift in these projects, because a $200+ million project has a huge impact for a long time on the transportation funding program. So it's gonna be a tricky one for them to figure out how to find all the money and how they do all that.
I'm not on TTAC, I'm on MPO.
On the bright side, now finally, today we signed all the forms for the grant we received for Maple Park. DCNR is anxious to get that project up and running. With the consultant selection approved by council, we're now running full speed ahead. We will have our initial project meeting tomorrow morning to talk through all the steps that need to happen. We hope to have a ribbon cutting ceremony out there, or I should say a groundbreaking ceremony out there sometime this spring, and then get busy on getting the final design done, get construction started. So it's going to be good to see that project up and going finally. And pickleball. And I know we talk about TextMyGov a lot, and people signing up. I want to just announce that the number of people registered for TextMyGov has doubled in the last month. So I think with the oncoming winter and wanting to get information, people are like, ooh, I need to get on that. I'm guessing after the incident on Friday, and the fact that good information, factual information went out that way instead of the social media information of the misinformation of the incident. I think people are realizing that it's a good source of true factual information. So it's good to see more and more people in the community jumping on that. We want to get it much higher. Still not where it needs to be, but it's good to see it's climbing and going up. So it's a good tool. I agree with Todd. It's good we did it. We got to keep pushing to get more people signed up. And that's it. Thank you.
Boards, commissions, and committees, upcoming HARB, I believe tomorrow is canceled. Correct? Parks and Rec is on Thursday. Planning Commission is on the 16th, and the Shade Tree Commission is the 22nd. And I believe CCAT is next.
Second. Yeah, second Tuesday. It's the same right
Planning
before.
Commission?
Yeah, it's like 5
Or no, I thought it was
It's
the
right
HARB.
before HARB.
It's right.
Wow.
It's
So,
Wednesdays on.
CCAT is tomorrow night at
Is it
5:30.
tomorrow night? Yeah, tomorrow night, yes.
Tomorrow night at 5:30.
Do you want those on the agenda now? You want to add
Yeah,
them to
just
the
put it
list?
on there, because
Okay. Because it's not really a borough
it's
committee,
not
so we don't.
really a borough committee, but it happens here, and there's still people asked about it. Yeah, because, then someone's bound to say, nothing was on the announced for, but Borough Hall lights were on, what meeting was going on in there? and,
Okay.
So, all right, council member comments. Councilperson
I have a little something.
Okay.
So Chris Vera and Rick Fisher are going to work together to do some restoration to the dungeon. So Rick will be doing a presentation here in the very near future. They're going to raise the funds to pay for the program themselves.
Awesome.
So that will be coming in the very near future.
Excuse me, Joanne, I saw another name involved in that.
Bonnie,
Oh, Bonnie.
she runs the coffee shop.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's going to head up the fundraising.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, Bonnie, I think it's Link.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually to put the new wood floors in, put new wood floors, things like that. Panels, historic panels, and stuff like that.
We didn't even know all that, but thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
No, that's
That'll be a
awesome.
ground floor.
Awesome. Anything else?
No, that's it, man.
Nothing.
Nothing? I wanted to let Derek know, yesterday at the County Planning Commission, I know we had talked about here before to see if there was interest in a countywide stormwater program or whatever. The Blanchard County Planning Department put in for a grant for funds to get that developed. They got the phase 1 grant, so they are starting to put together the group of people that'll drive the actual project, and so this will be like a steering committee that will be put together this year. So we may be hearing more of it, but they're going to be looking for solicitors, engineers, all that stuff. So it looks like it might actually happen this time. And there was a lot of discussion about whether or not, because the municipalities that did not express interest in participating are all of the rural ones. And so there was discussion to entice them to get involved by saying, look, you're going to be impacted by this because the agriculture is the biggest, thing we need to curb for the runoff, so.
But how does that dovetail in with the Clean Water Consortium?
We actually did get, the county match funds for the state money, the county money is coming from the Clean Water Partners. So, yeah, they're, because
Clean
they're,
Water Partners and Clean Water Consortium, which are the same
Yep.
outfit, so, okay.
Yeah, so we'll be hearing more about that, maybe it'll happen there, but that, they want the first phase of it to be done this year, and then they're gonna put in for the grant for the second phase.
The reason I asked that, Heather, is Clean Water Consortium and Clean Water Partners, because of their work with the Conservation District, they seem to have a grasp on the ag, the ag sector in the county. So,
Yeah.
working with them would pull that segment in.
And that's where, yeah, that's what we found is all the rural in the eastern and southern, none of those municipalities have expressed interest. And so we need to get them involved as well. But then it'll be a watershed-based, that's the goal, was to do a watershed-based approach. So I think there's like 5 watersheds in Lancaster County, the 5 main watersheds that we would be looking at. So that'll be cool. Definitely help. And I think that's it. And don't forget the pickleball.
Pickleball.
For Maple Park. The next meeting, announcement of the next meeting at 7 p.m. on Tuesday, January 23rd. Council will hold a regular meeting. I have a motion to adjourn. I have a motion by Councilperson Price, second by Councilperson Stahl, to adjourn the meeting at 7:56 p.m. All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? We are adjourned. Don't forget, we have checks to sign.
Kelly signed.